you're crying, he said, still inside me. Is it the promotion? I didn't answer, just stared at the ceiling tile above his shoulder, the one stained yellow like someone had tried to scrub guilt out of plaster. He didn't wait, slid off, zipped up, and reached for his smartwatch like a reflex. Back to business, Sloan. The cold from the downtown Austin hotel room air finally touched my skin. That helped. So did the silence after the door clicked shut behind him. I stared at the pillow he'd used, creased hollow in the middle, like his apology that morning. You know how hard these budget cycles are. I'd built his budget, I'd optimized it, stitched it together from the scraps they called legacy financial algorithms until the damn thing ran smoother than his Rivian. 6 years, 43 deployed private equity ledger modules, 3 nightmarish pivots, and 1 personal ND AI never signed because he said it was just a formality. And today, when I asked for a raise, he laughed. Literally laughed, doing up his fly. Come on, Sloan, you're essential. We all know that. But raises, that's a conversation for well bigger picture thinkers. He left lipstick on my cheek when he said it. His wife's someone's. I didn't wipe it off. Instead, I opened the minibar and took the one bottle I swore I wouldn't touch again. The algorithms were still mine. The financial architecture, the skeleton they paraded at every damn investor showcase was born from the 3 sleepless weeks I spent living off granola bars and whiteboard markers in a stifling rented carriage house in Hyde Park that smelled like mildew and startup dreams. Cobalt Ventures didn't own that, but someone else might want to, especially the firm across the river, especially since I still had the original quant environment. And the patent? Well, that's where it gets interesting. The patent sat in a dusty folder on a hard drive labeled old crap/don't delete. Seriously, I almost didn't open it. Like it might have disintegrated if I touched it wrong, like some relic from a version of me that still believed in late nights and shared credit and finance bros who said things like, we're a family here. But there it was. U.S. Patent Number 10, something filed by S. Vance Method for dynamic predictive asset distribution in asynchronous dark pool ledgers. Their holy grail, my Frankenstein, and the signature, not from the company, not from the CTO, just mine, because I filed it as an individual after a fintech summit in 2019, where their senior architect passed out drunk in a beanbag chair and said nobody's going to bother filing anything until Q3 legal's a graveyard. I remember nodding, smiling, then going home and spending my entire Sunday on the USPTO website while his hangover turned into a team-wide Slack rant about toxic deal flow velocities. They never even noticed. I sat on that secret for years. Not to be strategic, just forgotten. Life got in the way. Burnout, gaslighting in quarterly reviews. A brief, stupid, almost engagement to an IT compliance guy named Chadsworth, who once asked me if I needed help understanding ledger encryption protocols. I had written half the encryption module, and now that signature was a guillotine humming softly under their neck. The question wasn't if I'd use it, it was how. I spent the next 4 days quietly rebuilding the prototype in a private sandbox on a borrowed Bloomberg terminal node under a name that wouldn't flag their snitchware security software. I used a VPN, routed through Iceland, and renamed my terminal's hostname to HP DeskJet. Every time I got a Slack ping from Preston Blake with a thumbs up emoji or some forwarded article titled Top Women in FinTech Who Know Their Place, my fingers moved faster. By Thursday, I had a working MVP. By Friday, I had a meeting with Vanguard Analytics. And by Monday, I wasn't Sloan Vance, Senior Quantitative Specialist anymore. I was Sloan Vance, primary patent holder and sole licenser. And Vanguard Analytics, they were very, very interested. Vanguard Analytics didn't blink. Their VP of engineering, a woman named Victoria Davenport with ice blonde hair and zero time for small talk, scanned the patent number, raised one eyebrow and said, "This is real." I slid the flash drive across the glass table like it was radioactive. "Not just real," I said. "Still deployed. 6 years. Cobalt Ventures built their entire algorithmic trading stack on it." Victoria didn't look impressed. She looked interested. Original filing mine, proof of authorship, time-stamped algorithm strings, trade execution logs, and the original ledger commit chain. She leaned back, tapped a stylus against her lips. "You know this is going to start a war. They already started it," I said. "They just laughed too hard to hear the first shot." She smirked. How poetic. 10 minutes later, we were signing ND as that could have suffocated a longhorn. By hour 2, I had a licensing deal proposal in my inbox. and by hour 4, legal team had already flagged 12 instances of copyright violation in the public documentation of my former company's quant blog. But that wasn't the fun part. The fun part came that evening when I quietly uploaded version 2.1 of the trading engine, cleaned, optimized with 3 new features Vanguard Analytics had been dying to crack for 2 fiscal years. No open source, no attribution, fully proprietary, fully mine. And theirs now too. Sent a formal licensing notice to Cobalt Ventures the next morning. Subject line, licensing violation and IP infringement review action required the CTO probably didn't even open it until his iced turbo from Joe's Coffee was lukewarm. But when he did, oh, I bet he spit it across the entire quant team because attached to that email in high-res PDF form was a cover letter signed by me, Sloan Vance, patent holder, and below that, Vanguard's warning. You are currently operating production software in breach of intellectual property rights. Please respond within 48 hours to negotiate licensing terms. Failure to comply will result in legal action and platform-wide takedown notices. I didn't hear the scream, but I felt it all the way down I-35. In the next hour, my old Slack login was revoked. My calendar wiped, my work email locked, but my phone lit up like a Christmas tree strapped to a meltdown. WTF? Is this? Call me now. Sloan, we need to talk. Did you send this? Please tell me you didn't send this. I know you're upset. Let's be rational. And finally from him, Preston, you vindictive little brat. You have no idea what you've done. Oh, but I did. I had finally written my resignation letter in legalese. They called it a misunderstanding. Email from their lawyer opened with, we believe there has been some confusion regarding the ownership of this ledger base. Confusion. Is that what we're calling 6 years of unpaid overtime and gaslit performance reviews now? I didn't reply. Vanguard Analytics did with a response that included a 14-page appendix of trade execution logs, pipeline histories, and a forensic timeline showing exactly when my algorithms went live, who tried to slap their name on it 6 weeks later. Then Vanguard's legal VP dropped the hammer. Your CTO's LinkedIn bio references his dynamic asset balancing ledger. Sloan Vance is the sole inventor. Kindly clarify how a man with no recorded contributions to the project is claiming authorship of a patented process. Silence and then noise. Beautiful, chaotic, desperate noise. One of their senior quants leaked an internal memo to me through Proton Mail. It was supposed to be confidential, but the subject line was a gift. Crisis Protocol Vance Fallout highlights included deactivate all blog posts referencing Engine Core V1 as in-house IP. Purge Slack messages from 2019-2020 involving algorithm attribution discussions. Cancel Preston's panel appearance at South by Southwest. Too risky. Legal exploring emergency countersuit, but confidence is low. She has receipts. That last line. Yeah, I printed it, framed it, hung it above my coffee maker, and that's when the real game began. A rogue recruiter named Bryce, I barely remembered messaging back in 2021, suddenly reached out. Hey Sloan, hope you're doing well. We have an urgent principal quantitative engineer opening, followed by 3 VC firms asking if I was interested in launching a spinout. Followed by an anonymous tip sent to 3 fintech blogs about the IP battle brewing inside one of Austin's most overvalued financial startups. Guess who leaked it? Here's a hint. She drinks espresso like it's war fuel and signs her emails V. Davenport, VP Vanguard Analytics. 2 days later, Texas Tech Review ran the headline. Fintech darling accused of IP theft by former female engineer. Is it time to rewrite the narrative? The side-by-side of me in a hoodie holding a whiteboard marker and Preston giving a keynote in front of my diagram. My arrows, my shorthand, even my damn typo. Ledger, misspelled Legder. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I prefer it piping hot poured over a quarterly earnings call, which incidentally was happening the following Monday. And I had just gotten access to something very, very fun, their internal asset metrics dashboard. Let's just say retention rates weren't the only thing about to drop. Monday, 8:59 a.m. I had 3 monitors glowing like a war room, 2 espresso shots from Houndstooth lined up like bullets, and my cat sitting smugly beside me like he knew what was coming. Their Q2 earnings call started at 9 sharp, live-streamed public, open to stakeholders, journalists, and most deliciously former employees with axes to grind. The CEO's voice came through first. Forced, cheerful, thick with corporate Vaseline. Good morning, everyone. We're excited to share another quarter of innovation and strategic growth. I muted it. I wasn't here for that. I was watching the dashboard because over the weekend, one of my former juniors, Elias, someone they'd laid off during their culture restructuring, had quietly handed me access to the system. They still hadn't air-gapped. I had root-level privileges on their quant telemetry server. I didn't need to touch a thing. I just watched because Vanguard Analytics had flipped the switch that morning. My trading engine version 2.1 was now live on their rival's infrastructure. Full rollout, same financial architecture, better performance, no licensing violations. And Cobalt Ventures, they were now broadcasting a live stream while their dark pool backend started buckling in real time. Trade execution latency doubled, then tripled. Transaction errors surged. Their analytics dashboard, the one I built, spiked with red. Preston's voice finally came through the live stream. Tense, rushed. We're seeing temporary issues due to unexpected load. Our teams are addressing, and then it hit. One of their clients, a huge one, a Fortune 100 private equity beast, had switched platforms overnight to Vanguard Analytics, to my engine. And the kicker, that client sent a tweet at 9:14 a.m., excited to be working with at Vanguard Analytics. Lower latency, better security, smoother integration. Cheers to clean algorithms, winking face. The tweet blew up fast. Developers started piling on screenshots, benchmarks side-by-sides. It was open season. One user posted, "Didn't these algorithms look familiar? Pretty sure Sloan Vance demoed this at Capital Hack in 2019. And suddenly, my LinkedIn exploded. Connection requests, job offers, articles tagging me as the woman who built the machine and burned the castle. But the best part? Someone bless their caffeinated soul leaked an internal Slack thread where Preston typed, "Who the hell authorized her patent? Why wasn't this caught? Who filed nothing?" And the response from their legal lead, just one line, "You told us not to waste time on her." Preston, mic drop. By 10:12 a.m., their stock had dipped 11%. By 10:48, it froze. Trading halted. By noon, they were trending under #stolen algorithm startup, and I was sitting in a moody rooftop lounge overlooking Lady Bird Lake, sipping overpriced mezcal with Victoria Davenport from Vanguard Analytics, watching the whole thing unravel on an iPad. She didn't say anything for a while, just chewed a pen cap, squinting at the chaos. Then she looked at me and said, "You know they're going to come for you." I smiled. They already did, and now it was my turn. They tried to play victim. By Tuesday, the CEO was on damage control, sweating on CNBC in a blazer that didn't quite fit, saying words like miscommunication, legacy contributor, and my personal favorite. We deeply value our engineers, past and present. Meanwhile, their lawyers were sending Vanguard Analytics a cease and desist like they hadn't just spent 6 years duct taping my work to their golden parachutes. Vanguard's response, a neatly packaged folder delivered to their inbox titled Compliance Receipts. Inside a notarized copy of the original patent filing, 3 signed witness statements from former quantitative engineers confirming I wrote the trading engine, screenshots of Jira tickets with my name on every major breakthrough, and a recorded Zoom call time-stamped transcribed where Preston Blake told me this isn't about credit Sloan, it's about teamwork. I sent that one in myself. They didn't respond, not publicly, not legally, but quietly, they started deleting things. Whole blog entries vanished. White paper from their 2021 FinTech Con talk was pulled. A podcast featuring Preston gloating about his signature asset balancing ledger was mysteriously replaced with a 404. And then the first real crack. One of their senior devs, Garrison Wells, resigned, loudly on LinkedIn. He wrote, "As someone who watched Sloan carry this project through hell and gaslighting, I can't pretend anymore. I'm out." And just like that, the dominoes fell. 4 resignations that week. Investors started asking questions, and then the board moved. Late Thursday night, someone from the team, probably that same overworked HR analyst Kimberly Sterling who used to whisper, "I'm so sorry" to me after every failed promotion, sent me the one screenshot I had fantasized about for years. An email thread, subject, immediate termination, CTO reason, gross negligence, reputational damage, failure to disclose patent conflicts. It was done. He was out. Read it 5 times. And for the first time in 6 years, I exhaled without shaking. But I wasn't finished because karma is cute, but design is divine. So I printed the email, rolled it up, slipped it into a gift box, and the next morning, I stood outside his now former office building on Congress Avenue with a courier envelope addressed to his name. Inside, the termination thread, a printed screenshot of his "We're a family here" Slack message, and a single USB drive labeled Sharpie. You should have given me the raise. I watched the receptionist buzz him out from behind glass. He looked older already, jowls heavy, eyes scanning the lobby like a man who knew he'd just watched the throne burn down brick by brick, line by line, function by stolen function. He opened the envelope, read it, paused, and then he saw me just standing there, arms crossed, no smile, no rage, just done. He mouthed something. I couldn't hear it through the glass, but I didn't need to, because some endings don't need sound. They just need a witness. The lawsuit came 3 days later. Messy, desperate, performative. Their new interim CTO signed off on a 47-page complaint claiming I had violated proprietary agreements and sabotaged systems with intent to damage. Cute. They even tried to paint me as a rogue developer who coerced junior staff into leaking trade secrets, as if I'd hypnotized half their workforce with some kind of girl boss mind control spell. Vanguard Analytics' legal team dismantled it like Jenga played on a fault line. First response: Defendant Vance was never under contract for IP transfer. Patent predates all active employment clauses. Please review your own HR files. Second response: If you wish to pursue this, we'll require full algorithm audit logs, source control history, records of all internal communications regarding the patent. Discovery will be extensive. Please confirm your willingness to proceed. Spoiler, they didn't. By Friday, the suit was quietly dropped. No press release, no public statement, just a little edit to their website footer, one line removed. Powered by our proprietary asset balancing ledger technology, now it just said, built for scale cowards. But what came next that was better than revenge was rewriting the future. Vanguard Analytics went all in. We launched properly this time. A clean build, scalable, secure, faster than anything on the market. My name on the patent, on the product, on the Mano homepage. And you know what surprised me most? People wanted to work for me, not tolerate me, not talk over me, not smile while stealing my slides. Actually work, collaborate, ask questions, credit ideas. One night, 2 interns, Declan and Chloe, pulled me aside after a long deal flow sprint. Declan said, "We read what happened with Cobalt Ventures, the blog post and the leak." I tensed, thought it was about to be some apology for young male behavior speech. But Chloe added, "You're why we applied here. You proved they can't just take from us." I didn't cry. Not there. But later in the dark, I stared at that old HP DeskJet terminal I'd used to rebuild everything battered, covered in tea stains and scratch stickers, and I thought that machine started the fire. But I lit the match and the world finally noticed. But one last thing still bothered me because I hadn't heard Preston's voice in weeks. Not since the envelope, not since the glass door stare down, until a week later when an email landed in my inbox. No subject, no greeting, just one sentence. "You really think this is over?" I stared at it and smiled. Not yet. Made one last move. Of course he did. Men like him don't disappear. They mold into consultants, advisors, strategic visionaries. Turns out he'd been whispering into the ear of a mid-tier VC firm itching to disrupt Vanguard Analytics' rise. They threw together a Frankenstein competitor overnight. Sloppy UI, gutted back end, and a suspiciously familiar financial architecture. Too familiar. Their press release bragged about next-gen asset distribution, claimed it was built from the ground up, even quoted him finally, a product that doesn't rely on stolen foundations. Oh, they wanted war again. Fine. This time, I didn't need backdoors or leaked memos. I had momentum and a team. While they fumbled through demos that crashed mid-click, Vanguard Analytics rolled out LedgerStream, our new platform powered by version 3.0. A rewrite, a monster, chewed benchmarks for breakfast and spat out graphs shaped like middle fingers. We gave early access to their clients, every single one. By the end of the month, 8 of their 12 contracts had quietly migrated to us. By the end of the quarter, their VC pulled funding. Turns out, strategic visionaries don't survive without strategy or vision. I finally ran into him again. Tech gala at the Moody Theater. Open bar. Too much light. Too many cameras. He approached. Oh, drink in hand. Just that brittle smile he wore like expired cologne. "Sloan," he said like we were old friends. "You win." I tilted my head. This wasn't a game. He glanced around, seeing the Vanguard Analytics logo everywhere, on banners, on lanyards, on stage. "I made a mistake," he muttered. "Back then. I should have taken you seriously." I sipped my drink. "You didn't make a mistake." He frowned. "You made a decision. And so did I." He didn't have a reply for that, but someone behind me did. One of our new engineers, Elias, fresh out of grad school, watching the exchange with wide eyes. He said loud enough to draw looks. "Hey, Sloan, is that the guy who laughed at your raise request?" A few people turned. The CTO, former CTO, flinched, then walked off alone. I didn't follow. I had a keynote to deliver. 10 minutes later, I stood on stage in front of 2,000 people and told the story not of revenge, not even of victory, but of reclamation, of building something undeniably yours and watching the world scramble to catch up. Afterward, someone asked me what I'd say to women in fintech who feel invisible. I smiled and said, "File the patent, then light the match."